I know. Hold up, hold up. All right, there he is. So this is my main partner in crime, right here. This is my main partner in crime, Migi. So today we will finally talk about him, the elephant in the room, or the parasite in the room, I guess you would say. But one of my favorite animes and mangas would easily have to be Parasite, the Maximum. I mean, I have a couple of favorite animes, regardless, many different genres and all that jazz. But Parasite the Maximum is just, oh, it was just so great. I remember when I first saw it back in 2014, I just fell in love with it. I mean, I love monsters and horror and scary shit like that. So I know there's a lot of different styles of horror and like creature animes out there, and they're great. Mushishi is one of my other favorite. It's not as crazy, but still deals with all these crazy parasites and stuff like that mutate in people's bodies and make them all crazy or do amazing things. But Parasite is definitely more on the horror aspect of like aliens to the level of chest bursting without it necessarily being chest bursting. But Parasite the Maximum stars this kid Shinichi, or it follows this kid Shinichi. He's this regular high school student, and he ends up getting a parasite fused into his hand. What happens is these little parasitic worm things are like falling down to earth. Apparently they're having like this crazy alien civil war or something, and they start infecting humans on earth, and like they have to get into their brain. When they infect a host, they have to infect their brain because they're smart, very very smart beings, these little parasite entity things. But when they get into the brain, they can take over the nervous system and like have complete motor functions of the body and all that stuff, and actually take over the host completely. And that's their goal, to take over earth and to actually harvest earth or whatever. And they're going through like some type of battle on earth amongst each other or something, or I think they're just probably trying to take over earth. But some of them are like not trying to destroy earth and some of them are. But for the most part, Shinichi, when he almost gets infected by his parasite, it tries to get into his ear. He like freaks out and he like tries to get it off of him or whatever, and it falls on his hand. And when it falls on his hand, it ends up infecting his hand. He's able to to tie like a tie or whatever around his arm to like kind of stop the blood. And the parasite only has a few it's only got like a small window when it before it can mutate into itself. So it has to get to like the brain or something so it can like latch on. And unfortunately it latches on to like the muscles in his hand, so it becomes his hand. And whenever the parasites mutate to whatever it is that they attach to, which is usually the brain, they kind of have this flower sprouting of a mouth that sprouts from wherever they mutate from. And usually that would be the head, and people's head bursts open. It's super fucking crazy. It's just awesome. They did make a live action. It was in Japan, and they did a pretty damn good job. Apparently, the New Line Cinema here in the States had the rights to it, but they didn't act on it in enough time, I guess, and the license that they had expired. So Japan was like, we're doing it, and they did it. And to be honest, the live action is a pretty good representation of how I would imagine it would look. I just imagine that we probably would have just made it look like shit here in America. But I don't know. You can't really say because it's already done. But instead of mutating his head, because it gets into his hand, it mutates his hand. So it ends up becoming part of him. And so the whole anime is, kind of like what Ghost in the Shell is. It's dealing with humanity and what it means to be human, and how he reacts, of course, to now trying to live. He's still the kid's trying to live a normal life, but he's got an alien for a hand. Like it's like, and the Migi can like disappear into his normal hand, because of course the parasites, when they infect the brain, that's their thing, and why they're so. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like you can't see what they look like because they look like normal humans until you upset one and they freaking flower face eat you, and you're like, oh shit. But since it's in his hand, it can turn into just a normal hand, but then his hand can also become this crazy alien thing. So as time goes on, he develops a bond with it, and he names it Migi. I forget if it names itself or if he names it, but they name it Migi, which I think means right, because it's like his right hand or whatever. And it's so cute. He's like the girl that plays the voice of Migi is like amazing. Like just the whole arc that the character goes through, that the Migi hand goes through, of like learning what it means to be human and feeling all these human emotions, because he's not full alien taking over the brain. He's like an alien sharing a host body, and the host has feelings, and it's like a full human. It's an evolved human being in a sense. We're all human, so there's a lot of feelings that this alien had never felt before, and there's a lot of alienistic things that Shinichi feels that we would have never felt from the aliens. He throughout the anime he gets stronger. He ends up like slicking his hair back. He wears glasses in the beginning, and he ends up not having to wear glasses anymore. Very Spider-Man status, But it's a beautiful anime, and it just all there's a couple battles that go on because now, of course, like Migi doesn't want to die because if because they find out that he's like a half breed, half human, half alien, and the aliens are like, oh, we need to kill you, and so Migi's like, I don't want to die because if they kill you, I die. So now we have to stay alive. So it creates this conundrum where they have to like actually fight off some of these aliens, and some of the battles are pretty cool. They're not too crazy, but they're fucking just amazing. And when I was reading the manga afterwards, it's just as engaging. So if you'd rather read the manga, please check out the manga. But yeah, Parasite the Maximum, it's fantastic. I don't want to ruin the ending, because it's one season. They're not going to make a second season because the manga ended one series, and then the one series became one anime series, and then that was it. There's nothing to make a second series or second, the writer never made any more of the manga, so they're not gonna bullshit some second season. So I'm thankful for that. So if you want one season of something to just binge real quick to get you into anime, if you're not really sure about anime, I guarantee you Parasite the Maximum will hook you and totally bring you into the realm of anime, and from then on I guess you'll just never look back.